So it's another one of those nasty weather days. We were going to, last minute decision, take some Sambokans to the market to try to sell them, which is a lemonade tasting citrus fruit that's kind of strange, Japanese fruit. But the rain early and mid, till about 12 o'clock or so, just kept, all the people away from the market. So we decided just not even do it. But we brought our little wagon of plants outside. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more rain because we brought them out late, and a couple other potted plants. Try to make them happy. It looks like these cassavas are already starting to do shoots. So hopefully that means they're going to be rooting from the bottom too, and not just expending their energy from making sprouts and shoots and leaves. So the rain obviously is a good thing to get these wood ashes and stuff, these cardboard potash alternative stuff, sinking all those nutrients down into the raised bed number 2 and 3 that we did over the last couple of days. So I guess doing the wood ash video, potash, cardboard ash video, really ruffled some feathers. We had a few thumbs downs on it, and like immediately after posting it, had one subscriber unsubscribe to us. And yeah, there are controversies about burning anything inorganic. There are, I guess, binders, there are wax, and potentially chemical binders, like I said, in the cardboard. The inks, some of the inks may be natural. Some of the glossiness in the cardboard and paper can be natural from like clay-based glosses. Some city, county ordinances may not permit you to burn cardboard. But here's the thing. We use cardboard in pretty much most of our beds, if not all of them. Hugelkultur, raised beds. We, any future beds we use a ton of that stuff, just like almost every other permaculturalist or whatever does. And what you may not see if you just click a video is that we have 2 swimming pools dedicated to composting cardboard and a variety of other things. So 2 8-foot swimming pools, 2 smaller compost bins, and we reuse cardboard, the good boxes, the big ones for storage and all kinds of things. We reuse grocery shopping bags, paper, and plastic, even though the plastic ones sometimes you can't reuse a second time. But if we can reuse it like 2 or 3 times before they get put in the landfill, we reuse those things. The third point is that there is no recycling in our area. A lot of recycling places that were in other areas, other couple cities away, a county away or whatever, they stopped their recycling program because it was just too much money. As I said in that video, we have no garbage service. We recycle or use pretty much all the paper, all the plastic, and we could do better. There's things like aluminum cans and stuff that we probably could make a little more effort to recycle. Glass bottles as well. So when you have an excess surplus of something that you can't use, no one immediately wants it, what are you going to do? Your 2 options without a recycling program is to put it in a landfill where it has no oxygen. It's just wrapped around diapers and plastic and buried where it cannot break down for many years, and then it causes dangerous toxic gases, and so burning may not be a perfect option, but it just like voting, in your election. You usually vote for a lesser of 2 evils. So when your options run out and you have those 2 options left, do you want to send it to a landfill, or do you want to make use out of it in some other form? When we built this ginormous set of beds here, this was originally like 2/3 or 1/3 the size. I can't remember which one I started first. And then when we expanded it back, we used a lot of that cardboard, you know, to line everything up to try to keep weeds out and stuff. And you know, we're just now trying to replenish it with organic, you know, material, limbs and stuff, as you can see, because it sunk. You know, first year it sunk a lot, next year it sunk a lot. Some of it sunk maybe, you know, where there was only like 4 inches or so of soil in the bottom. So if we're going to reutilize this and get it working again, we have to add a lot of stuff to break down in here. Cardboard and composting bins, unless you have a lot of green material, it seems to take a really long time to break down. So basically we had 2 swimming pools that were like 8 foot or so around, maybe a little bit bigger, I can't remember. And it just, you kind of stagnated where it wasn't breaking down for a few years, and then it filled up and we were at capacity. Now they're starting to finally break down really low, so hopefully we can make use of that compost and some of our other raised beds, or, you know, as plant food or whatever. Now it's not just cardboard, there are other things in there, tons and tons of tree limbs and leaves and everything that when we made them, we would top them off with bucket loads and bucket loads of leaves and everything. Unfortunately for, you know, everybody probably on YouTube, especially if they don't have millions of followers, people can click on a video because it hits an algorithm and it suggests something out to somebody that has never seen your videos, never seen your channel, and they can just look at that and say that's a bad thing, that's a negative thing. My city ordinance doesn't, you know, whatever, allow that, you know, you would be fined or whatever. But, you know, just take this adventure, our garden vlogs and everything, see what kind of progress we make over time, see the positive and the good, and if this is questionable for you or whatever your opinions are, just, I hope that, you know, in 5 years' time, we will have a lot of progress, a lot of productivity, and hopefully we can inspire people. And it may not be to inspire people to burn cardboard, but to compost and to make less of an impact on the environment in other ways, and hopefully to move toward something, toward a positive something of, you know, I say this in a bunch of videos, it's not always about being self-sustaining, it's about moving closer toward that. So you're using less emissions, less carbon emissions and stuff like that. You're making less trips to the grocery store, less trips to the hardware store or garden centers to buy fertilizers and food and compost and everything like that. The Sambokans, we're a little bit small this year. I think we need to amp up fertilizing, our fertilizing regimen. Now, we did a good job on fertilizing, it's just maybe this guy just needed more than what we gave him. So starts getting warmer weather, we need to just make these guys happy. Got quite a few of the red super sweet Texas seedling grapefruits here. You know, we got all the ones from the bottom, gave a ton of them away. You know, probably gave 40 to 50 pounds of various citrus away already to you know, a bunch of people. This grapefruit is a success story. You know, we had goats that tried to kill it. They killed our pink Thompson pink grapefruit. They killed our Mineola Tangelo, and they tried to kill a few other things. They, you know, girdling the tree so that they can't really get a good supply of sap, their lifeline. And, you know, a couple years later, we probably got 100 grapefruit on it. Check out the Mayhaw, and it's going to have a lot more blooms than this in the coming week or so, but there's probably hundreds of blooms on it. Look kind of like apple blooms or something. Just can't wait till the other mayhaws that are genetically different start pollinating these guys. then we could potentially have thousands of mayhaw berries every year. We have cedar apple rust and stuff like that, but you know, and since we don't really have a toxic spraying regimen, you know, that's going to take a lot of the productivity away. You know, it's going to disease a lot of the berries, but we'll see how, you know, compared to, you know, good berries versus bad ones without spraying them, and see how well they do. Way off in the distance there is raised bed number 3 for the aged wood chip raised bed alternative beds or whatever. But we've had so much rain that all that whole area is flooded. They would ruin my shoes. So I'm sure that rain is getting into that ash and stuff and really feeding, you know, all the leaves and pine needles and sticks and bacteria, and hopefully spreading some of the fungal roots and creating some fungal activity. And I can't wait to plant that. Black or red hybrid mulberries are starting to get little blooms there where they're going to be fruiting this year. This is the first one that has, you know, a good amount of green coming out. The white ones aren't even showing any sign of budding out. They're still kind of dormant looking. This is the dwarf everbearing black. You can see starting to bud out a little bit. This is the one we made the pie with last year. You know, made the two or three pies or whatever. We made the pies this year, but we harvested them last season. And since we just got a Illinois everbearing mulberry, and we have all the other little cuttings, cultivars and stuff, rooted, grafted, Pakistan and all, you know, we should be pretty much set on mulberries. You know, in 5 or 6 years, hopefully we're going to have such an abundance, and we can invite maybe people over, local gardening community members, just say, okay, pick what you want, make some pies, take them to garden clubs, meetings, or whatever. All right, guys, I think that's it for today's garden vlog. Take care.